Welcome, Albert, to Against the Grain. Thank you so much for travelling here today, because I know that you're in Manchester at the moment.
Sure.
So we first met actually earlier this year at LibertyCon in Portugal.
Of course.
So this, just for anyone who doesn't know it, is a conference which explores the free market, open societies and new technologies. So Albert, what did you think of the conference?
Yeah, thank you so much, Ella, for the invitation, first of all, and also for this question. I've been in Portugal for meeting friends and colleagues of Liberty. As you know, I was involved in Liberty in Congo, especially as a national coordinator of Students for Liberty. And as I am in Europe, it was the great moment to meet those colleagues from Europe. Yes. Yeah, and it was a great moment to meet them and to see those people I was just reading through emails, and now I've get a moment to greet them and to meet them. Yes.
Yeah, it's great to have such a big group of young people together who are interested and feel so passionately about one issue.
Yeah.
So when I was doing your research, I was really enjoying researching your work. I was absolutely amazed at how much you've already done.
Thank you.
So I'm just going to read out a little bit, just for those who are listening. So your biography explains how you were recruited by the governor of South Kivu province to serve as a logistic officer in his cabinet. You have also served as a national coordinator of Students for Liberty in the Democratic Republic of Congo, which is what you just described.
Sure.
You're a team leader for the Consultant for Just Results, the
Maisha Bora.
The Maisha Bora project manager for an agricultural and environmental NGO, and the list goes on. So much to mention. What really sticks in my mind from LibertyCon is especially your organization. So this is the Action for Peace and Liberty.
Yes.
Could you just describe what this organization is?
Thank you so much, Ella. Action for Peace and Liberty is a think tank which has a mission to promote the peace, freedom, individual freedom, and economic freedom. And we work in Congo, yes, in east of Congo. As you know, the Democratic Republic of Congo is currently in a great and huge conflicts between not only neighbors but also in communities. Tribes are fighting each other. And we created Action for Peace and Liberty to promote peace and liberty. And for our case, we think that we cannot have a peace without a free society. When people are not talking to each other, when people are not free, we cannot get a peace anymore. That's why we created Action for Peace and Liberty to try to promote peace in eastern Congo.
You really saw an opportunity then. It's amazing how you speak of liberty as so important to this mission. What were you doing when you founded it? How old were you when you started Action for Peace and Liberty?
I started Action for Peace and Liberty when I was 25, and now I'm 29. I started in 2019. I think it was an early age according to the Democratic Republic of Congo, but due to the problems and difficulties our community were facing, I thought that it was a great moment to create Action for Peace and Liberty and try to contribute in peace for my own community and neighbors. And for sure, I didn't have any experience, but it was a great moment. As long as we had difficulties, we have problems. So it was a great moment for me to create it, as I have some ideas of how to run a think tank, how to create a think tank, how to promote ideas of liberty and peace. I told to myself that this is a great moment to contribute something to my community.
Yeah.
Thank you so much.
Amazing. So just age 25, you must have had such a strong vision, and then to be able to put that into form in this organization is just so amazing. And so at age 25, if you think back, what were you doing at that time? Were you a student or were you working elsewhere?
I was from university. I worked a little bit in the cabinet of the governor, as you saw at my bibliography. First of all, I was the president of students from the community I belong to, Banyamulenge. And as I was involved in youth movements, the governor just recruited me to contribute in his cabinet just for the political issues. And I had just that experience as president of youth. And that time, I didn't have any experience. I was just from the cabinet of the governor without any experience because everything was political. I had not any experience. But what I had, it was a motivation I have to promote peace in my community. And I was also involved in Atlas Network.
The Atlas Network?
Network, yes. As a member of Students for Liberty, I had a little bit an experience in promoting ideas of liberty. That's what pushed me. First of all, the context of conflict, and secondly, I had some ideas about liberty movement, about think tanks. So I did it.
When you say the conflict in your country, what was this like for you growing up?
As you know, in Congo, we have more than 400 tribes. And all those tribes look at Tutsis community, or Banyamulenge if you want, as the strangers. They are from Rwanda or Burundi or whatever. And they try to take land in Congo. And the context of conflict, it's like all tribes against those Tutsis whom I'm from. So it's that kind of conflict I'm talking about. Yes, it involves other kind of conflict, which is political and international, but the key is based on communities, tribes.
And so was it quite common to see violence?
For sure, I can tell you that many people died during those conflicts, a lot. Even today, the conflict continue, and even properties have been destroyed. That's why you will see, if you try to read our website, we promote even the private property. And I can tell you that our community lost the whole. Our community is actually the first in Congo, the community which has as the main activity breeding cows. And we have lost everything, all cows during those conflicts. People died. So the conflict was really violent.
That sounds really hard and difficult to deal with.
For sure.
And you saw liberty, well, you see liberty as a way to resolve these conflicts.
For sure.
And you mentioned then about the Atlas Network.
Mm-hmm.
What is the Atlas Network?
Yes, Atlas Network is a platform of the whole think tank promoting peace, promoting liberty, individual and economic liberty around the world. And as I was member of Students for Liberty, I was involved in some trainings from Atlas Network. So Atlas Network is just a platform of think tanks involved in liberty. It's based in US.
Yeah.
Yes.
Oh, great. And I find it so interesting, and I'm really intrigued by this link you make between liberty and peace, because a lot of people in UK universities, for example, might see a lot of students in UK universities might see freedom of expression and almost like liberal ideas as leading to conflict. So this link between peace and liberty is a very interesting one.
Yeah, sure.
So have you heard much about on UK campuses, the universities, of people thinking that free speech is the means of conflict?
Yeah, you are right. And that case exists even in our country. I don't know about the UK, but I will try to illustrate that case according to my context. Sometimes people confuse liberty and what we call in French libertinage. Libertinage in French, it's like you go beyond your right. You even attack the right of other people. I don't know if I will be able to translate it correctly in English, but in French, my liberty or my right ends where your right starts. So I'm not allowed to go beyond my right. I think in the context of Action for Peace and Liberty, we promote liberty as a way for sustainable peace, because when people are not talking to each other, when you don't express your right, when you don't express your thinking, sometimes you can even get wrong ideas and you don't even tell it to me. I will not know what you are thinking. But when we talk, when we try to exchange our ideas, and if I see something wrong to you, I express it politely, and we find the solution together. I think this can resolve some conflict. Let me try to illustrate it in the context of Congo, when tribes are against each other only because they judge according to the morphology. They don't know that in all part of communities, we have people involved in peace who can even find the way out of conflict when people exchange, when people are free, when people talk to each other. This can be a good way to eliminate even conflict. And I was wondering why in democratic societies people are peaceful, kind of, but in dictatorship or in some conditions when people don't express what they think, sometimes they keep conflict along the way, and sometimes those ideas they keep will even produce some bad consequences. So that's what I think about liberty as the way of peace.
Yeah, that's so fascinating. I love how you bring in your personal experiences, because, you know, here we're very, like, for my experience anyway, I'm so focused on the universities and freedom of expression, but, you know, to actually hear about the impact and how you see this as an opportunity to resolve conflicts where you're from is just really inspiring.
Sure.
And within your organization, you say you have discussions. So what format do you have? Debates? You know, how does your organization work?
In Action for Peace and Liberty, we just organize debates, conferences. We even produce research related to liberty and peace. We just see what the cases of conflict. We write on it and we publish. We even formulate some recommendations to the political agents, to those in parliament. We even recommend it to the organizations or international organizations involved in justice. We also implement some projects related to peace and liberty. We are also involved in some training of Atlas network, and if there is some actions to promote, we also promote it. So that is how we work as Action for Peace and Liberty.
And are they mostly your friends who are in this, or people your age in Action for Peace and Liberty, or all different ages?
All different ages. First of all, as we started it as young people, we were involved a lot. We were so many young, but today, like our president is a professor. It's not a young one, but everyone who think that our mission is great and it deserves to be promoted is involved.
That's so great. And do you have debates as well, like very formal debates, so one team against another, when you discuss these issues?
Yeah, we go to universities, and sometimes we even involve people for liberty, and then other people who think that liberty cannot lead to peace, and we try to discuss. But at the end of the day, we see that the best way to have a peace in DRC is to be free. To be free, it means that to express what we see is going wrong and how we see it can be correct. And even we promote free trade or free exchange between different tribes, even different countries. If you see in Congo, the conflict in Congo are related to Rwanda. In many times, people say that our conflict, our war, are imported from Rwanda. Rwandan are just there to promote conflict or war in our country. But we also recommend that if we found the way to discuss between those neighbors, it can be a good way. They exchange freely, they exchange peacefully. That can lead to a peaceful society between our country. I don't know if...
That's so fascinating.
Yes,
and has anything quite surprising happened? Like, has anything surprising come up in conversation about something where you've learned a lot?
Yeah. First of all, I didn't know that among people in DRC, there are some of them who wanted really to promote peace. Before, I was imagining that people who are not from my community, all of them are against us and against peace. But what was surprising me is that we have people who are there to create peace, to promote peace. People are tired, even in our community or in different communities, even in some neighbors' country, we have many people tired of conflict. So they want to go forward and to eliminate those cases of conflict. Yeah, was the thing I saw surprised.
That's so beautiful. So your organization really appeals to many people that you're speaking to.
Yeah.
And has anyone been against your organization? Disagreed with it?
Yes. Sometimes when they see my morphology, not necessarily like other. I don't know if you know the history of the Great Lakes, but we have different morphologies, different tribes. When they see me as a leader, of course, I'm not the one who do everything. Even today, I'm in Europe, but my colleagues at the field are not from my community. But when they saw me involved in radio, in some broadcasts, promoting peace, they were saying that this guy from this community which is attacking every day ours, how can him be the first one to promote peace? Maybe this can be a political way to use this guy as a promoter of liberty, of peace, but for sure he is not there for promoting peace. So those are some details, but which cannot discourage me, because I knew before that I will encounter this kind of situation. But for sure, I know many people involved in peace, and those who are not involved in peace, even if they say it, but they cannot have the stage to express their bad behavior for conflicts.
Do you ever worry about these people who criticize you, or maybe do you ever self-censor?
Yeah, I have a worry because among them, we have some leaders involved in politics, and they can be member of parliament, they can be even ministers. They are there for pushing conflict for their own interests, which I cannot know. Of course, it's not easy, but I think every time peace will win. Yeah, for sure.
Yeah. To summarize for liberty in particular, when you say liberty, what do you mean by liberty? How do you define liberty?
For us, liberty, it's to be free and express what we feel, and even, but not in a wrong way. I'm not here to express everything, even wrong, to other people. But it's to be free, to express what I want, to be full of freedom, but not going beyond my right, not attacking other people. If I'm talking to you, maybe we can discuss, and sometimes I can be angry, maybe, but the liberty we promote, I'm not allowed to slap you, for instance, but I can answer you by words, but not using any harm to you. So that's what we mean by liberty. And for us, liberty, it's not only freedom, individual freedom, but it's also economic freedom. In the case of our country, young people are involved in armed groups because they don't have jobs, they don't have what to do, they are poor. I think if people work together, try to found entrepreneurship together, this can lead also to the peace. Because when people are eating, when people are studying, when people have to do, are busy, this can lead to the peaceful society. What we even use as our motto in our different activities, we say to young people that if we entrepreneur together, if we do something together, which give us money, and we before we destroy it, we will think twice before we destroy it. But people are destroying the private property for other people because they don't find any interest in that. But when we work together, we exchange, work together. Before I destroy your computer, for instance, if it's our common property, I will not destroy it as I could if it was yours. So I don't know if I make sense, but when people work together, this can lead to the peaceful society.
Yeah, absolutely. It's almost, people think it can lead to conflict, but you get a sense of respect for another person and their property. And I guess that's how you can really build up a community.
Sure.
So you're studying a master's course at the moment at The Hague, which is very exciting. And what is the title of your course?
Agrarian, Food and Environmental Studies, FS. It's development studies, of course. I don't know if I can describe what we do.
Yeah, please do.
Yeah. In development studies, we are involved more in FS. We are involved more in environment, food, and agrarian issues. And agrarian issues are linked more to the cause of conflict, even in our country, because the conflict are linked to the lands. People say that these people from Rwanda, actually, as they carry for them, they are here for taking our land. And all the debates around our masters is about political issues, political debate, policies, how to manage land, how to manage issues around environment, and also food context.
And do you talk a lot about liberty with your peers, your friends at The Hague?
Yeah, of course. I try to even illustrate some of my essays. The case studies are linked to my organization and to the activity we do there, and we discuss with them. Even last week, one of my peers recommended me to integrate the Humanity Hub, which is a platform of organization promoting peace and justice. And I've been there. I've been registered as a member. So we discuss, and I see benefits from our discussions.
And your classmates for your master's course, are they mostly from I guess, the Netherlands, or are they very international?
They are international, of course. It's even our institution is called International Institute of Social Studies. So we are from all the world. So we have Africans, we have Europeans, we have Asians, we have those from America. So it's an international institute.
And do you think this makes for a better conversation?
For sure, because at our university, the first week we just passed through the welcoming week. They try to teach us about respect, about to don't harm anyone, about harassment. So, and those trainings for the first weeks help us to even continue in the best way. And we have respect, so they respect each other, your culture, your origin, whatever. There is no any problem according to liberty.
And do you find the politics quite different at your university? Has anything surprised you?
Of course, a lot, because as you know, I'm from Africa, and the culture in Africa is different with the one in Europe, and even all the world, because we live with different people from different countries. It's just curious, but not surprised, because I intended to it, because when I was reading the website of our institution, I saw that I will meet different people from different countries. But it's a diversity. Yeah, it's a diversity for sure.
And did you want to study this master's particularly for your organization, so you knew that you'd learn a lot and then be able to go back and apply it?
Yeah, for sure. First of all, I'm there on behalf of of our think tank, because the scholarship of NAFIC, the scholarship I got, it's for young people starting their career in the countries like Africa. The mission of our scholarship, or the target of our scholarship, is to study there and to go back home to apply what we have studied. And this is also my target. Yeah.
When do you finish?
When I finish, I go back. Even today, actually, we are working. We are even doing some events together, even online.
Yeah.
So my intention is, first of all, to develop some connections and go back home, so that I can promote the mission of Action for Peace and Liberty. Yeah.
And when do you finish your master's?
In December this year.
So not too far away then.
Yes, sir.
Yeah. Are you excited to go back and bring your ideas?
For sure, I'm excited. I will be in Africa, actually in July, for Africa Liberty Forum in South Africa. And it will be the great moment to meet also some leaders of liberty from Africa. And I'm excited to go back in December and continue my mission as one of the leaders of Action for Peace and Liberty.
So this conference in July is LibertyCon?
No, it's the Africa Liberty Forum.
Okay.
It's also linked to training. We will be having 5 days training, funded by Atlas Network, and I've been one of selected to participate in that training.
That's great.
Yeah.
I'm not surprised. Your organization sounds amazing.
Thank you so much.
So when I was doing research in preparation for this interview, I was really interested in how different the idea of free speech and liberty is to maybe how many people in UK universities or American universities think of it. So, from my experience, in the UK universities, there's something called the chilling effect. So the chilling effect is when you're quite nervous to speak out for what you're going to say, because you're worried or scared that people might give you quite negative feedback. So they might think you're a horrible person if you say something. So you decide not to say it. Have you observed this chilling effect at The Hague, or has it been very open in terms of discussion?
I think that's a very interesting question for myself, because when I started my master's, even today, let me say it, because you are experienced it. I'm from a French-speaking country, and sometimes I was worrying even to express myself because I fear that my English is not good, and maybe it will lead to some shame and everything. A part of that also, when we are even sharing some experiences from different places, from Africa, from Europe, sometimes you think that your culture might be the worst one. So, at our university, it's not the case, because during the welcoming week, as I told you, we had some kind of instructions that where you are from, if you don't know English, or if someone knows English than you, it means that you know another language better than him. If you think that your culture is bad, it's not the case. Just share what you think. Just share the context you are living in your country. Maybe we can find some similar cases or similar solutions. And to summarize your question, I have never get that case in. Yes, cases are there in The Hague, but as we had instructions before at our university, that was not a very big problem at all.
Yeah, I find it so interesting that you talk about language as being such a big part of this.
Yeah, sure.
Because, I only speak English, and I feel like I really miss out sometimes in learning about different cultures.
Sure.
And I think even within the UK universities, even if it's not a different language strictly, people speak in different ways.
Yeah, sure.
And then it can get quite argumentative sometimes.
Yeah, sure.
Somebody might say, "Oh, you're on the left, you're on the right,"
For sure.
and then you think you don't speak their language.
Yeah.
And this has been a really common experience of me.
Yeah, sure.
So I think it's really interesting that your current university kind of briefs you in this. So, if we think specifically about language itself, have you felt, you speak English, you speak French.
Yeah.
Have you found that this has been a real benefit to maybe learning about people that you wouldn't usually learn about? And has this really changed your view politically?
For sure. First of all, I will appreciate the European culture, because for Europeans, your problem is your problem. I don't judge you, whatever you do, as long as you don't attack my personality or my right. And that was the part which helped me to even think more, to even sustain in my university. I think in The Hague, The Hague might be among those cities which promote liberty and free speech, because people can do whatever they feel without, of course, attacking other people, harming other people. So in The Hague, I can say that I've not experienced bad experience according to harm or free speech. Of course, when I arrived there, I was feeling that, but when I see instructions, when I see the behavior of people, when I say mistakes, sometimes people say, "Yeah, you are good," even if I know that I'm not good at all. But, so I think The Hague is better, and The Hague was among the culture of The Hague was among those things which helped me even to pursue my mission as a promoter of liberty. Yes.
You did your undergraduate degree at which university?
At Catholic University of Bukavu. It's in DRC. Yeah.
And how was your experience there?
There, it was so horrible because first of all, I was in my class. I was only one from my tribe, and physically you could even identify it. And sometimes I was discriminated, let me say it. And I can remember one day, it was Monday, one of the staff told me that, asked to someone, to my colleague in a local language, that how do you manage to live with snake in the same university, in the same class.
Wow.
And my friend told me, because he knew that I understand his local language, he told me, Albert, you see, I didn't respond. You see, this man is not a good man. So for me, it was not a surprise because I knew the context and the conflict are huge. So I experienced a lot of problems according to discrimination in my community, which is different. Sometimes I was even called Rwandan, Burundian, a stranger, but this case I'm not experiencing them in Europe, because I'm not experiencing it.
It's so shocking to hear that a professor said that about you. I mean, it must have been such a horrible environment to feel like you were welcome there. But you said it was your friend who didn't respond and he made that stand.
Yeah, sure.
So I guess at this university you had friends from different tribes because you were one of 19 other people there.
Yeah, sure.
How did you find making friends there? Was it easy or difficult?
First of all, as I said before, if we were 100 people, you cannot have the same behavior. In my class, actually, we had people, and many of them were promoting peace. But we had, of course, some of them who wanted to say every time, this man is not from our country. This guy is like here to look for information, which was not the case. And sometimes I had frustration. It was even among those causes to don't perform very well. Of course I performed, that's why I'm doing my master's. But it was really difficult. And if you go at the field, sometimes I meet people and say that this guy is from your class too. He's here. How is among you? But I made friends with those who wanted to promote peace, and it was not violent conflict or situation. Even if it was harm speaking, but it was not violent.
Yeah, it wasn't physically violent.
It was not physically.
Yeah.
But it was a frustration when you are in the roads. You are called Rwandan. You are called. They attribute to you another nationality. You even imagine that I'm not. This is not my place. But I tried to manage it, and me and of course some of my colleagues, we in different classes, which we managed it, and now we are friends even today. Yeah.
It's amazing you did so well, even facing all that discrimination.
For sure. Let me tell you that even for among the staff of Action for Peace and Liberty, we have some of my colleagues, and we try to make a family and let us promote liberty and peace together.
Yeah, it obviously seems like it's working, you know,
for sure.
all friends and discussing these very important issues. Just, you know, you said you were at a Catholic university for your undergraduate degree. I'm quite intrigued. It was Catholic. So were you all unified by Catholicism, or was that just the name and not much more?
Yeah, it's not only the name, because it's even the religion leader is the one who decides, who takes different decision. So it's a Catholic university, of course, not only by the name.
Did you have to be Catholic to enter the university?
No.
No, okay.
Everyone can join the university.
When I was researching, I was so amazed by how many different organizations you've been involved in, all of your experience. It seems like you've had a lifetime career already, and you're only 29. So what's next? Where do you want your career to go, or your ultimate aim?
Yeah, first of all, it's quite, I'm even ashamed when I see different organizations I've been involved in. Let me explain you the case of some countries of Africa. let me tell you about my country, because I don't know situations in other countries. In Congo, actually, when you finish, you don't have a job. That's what university student knows. No, they know that when I will finish studies, if I don't get my relative, a leader maybe involved in politics from my family to give me a job, I will no longer get a job. And when you finish, you have to search for different opportunities. If there are some opportunities, you have to take them. So that was my mind after the university.
How many people go to university? Is it lots of people? Is it quite common or not common?
Yeah, it's a lot. A lot of people go to university, and a lot don't go, because Congo has more than 100 million people. So as there's no employment, even those who go to university, they finish, they don't get a job anymore. So you have to create. You have to be involved in different network so that you can get. Actually, I was involved in Students for Liberty while working for governor's office. And also, I tried to create Action for Peace and Liberty. And at that time, I was involved in Students for Liberty. Also, the project, Maisha Bora project and everything, I was doing them in terms of getting some money and come back to promote, to fund some actions for my organization. So you see that I could take some time for extra job so that I can promote, so that I can have something to contribute and push some activities in Action for Peace and Liberty.
A very hard worker.
It was not easy. Yeah, and your question is, what next? My vision today is to finish in The Hague and get network, and I've already some, and continue to promote the mission of Action for Peace and Liberty in Congo. Because what my community is living today is a very bad situation. And as I have got the chance to study, the chance to meet people from all over the world, so my mission is to go back and try to even help some people, even to raise the voice so that the world can understand what these people are experiencing. That's why even when I was studying at The Hague, we have published different articles, even with some of my professors in The Hague. And every time, even in group discussions, I don't miss to touch to what Congo is experiencing now, and especially my society. So I think, I don't think, but my mission is to go back and push Action for Peace and Liberty. Not involved in different jobs as before, but concentrated on Action for Peace and Liberty.
Yeah, and grow it and make it even bigger.
For sure.
You've got lots of experience in all these different roles, and especially founding your own organization.
Yeah.
Now, what advice would you give to a student who is interested to begin their own organization to promote liberty or free speech?
Maybe I'm not the right person indicated to give advice, because I'm a beginner and we have not yet reached an impact. But what I can advise them is to don't be discouraged, because the mission of the mission of promoting liberty is a great mission, because even if we have some frustrations from political personalities, what we are doing is a great mission. And maybe I can recommend them to join Students for Liberty, which is a platform where you can get some ideas of promoting liberty in the best way without harming other people. Also, to join trainings, Atlas Network trainings, because they have the best way to to educate people according to liberty, and even to educate to some leaders who want to promote the mission of liberty in the right way without harm. That's what I can maybe advise those people or young people wanting to promote liberty. Yeah, sure.
Yeah, and I always find it's very useful to meet fellow students who have maybe faced some challenges, and just to learn about their experiences, sure. And what went well and what didn't go well. And also for me, I think I find it very useful to meet people who are older than me, maybe professors who have advice. Yeah. So have there been any mentors or people who are older than you who have helped you in your journey?
For sure. That's a very interesting question, because before I worked for Students for Liberty, I didn't even have the idea to create a think tank to promote liberty and whatever. But when I started working for Students for Liberty, I met Aimable. Aimable is a leader of the Center for Development and Enterprises Great Lakes. And it's a think tank funded by Atlas Network in Burundi. And he tried I learned a lot about what he was doing. Also, there are other leaders of Atlas Network, especially Brad. Brad is the CEO of Atlas Network. I watched the videos and different speech. That's helped me a lot to see how I can create something, how I can promote ideas of liberty without harm. And as I was one of the community the member of one of the community targeted, I had I read also some ideas of how to promote those ideas, even if you are among the victims. So that's among the people who tried to help me as mentors, even if they are not officially mentor.
Yeah.
But I learned more about them.
And finally, just your friend at your undergraduate university, the one who told you about this awful discrimination against you, really sticks in my mind as someone who was quite brave, because he took a stand by not responding to the instance of discrimination. Is this something that you try to do as well? Have you found instances where you've seen discrimination and you've thought, no, I'm going to take a stand and speak out for what I believe?
For sure. In different times. Of course, most of cases, it's in the street. And you can even hear someone saying, you are this, you are that. Or these are from what and what. Or someone talking to another. But I don't stand and respond, because I know it's not in the right way. In the street, you don't even know. Someone can be a drunkard, can even harm. But I have one case, maybe I can share it with you. When I was working in the office in the governor's office, my chief, because I was in the logistic officer, and you had our chief staff. And one day he told me, Albert, even if we are working with you here, we know that you are not from our country. I told him, what do you mean by not being from your country? How can the governor, our chief, your chief, recruit me as a stranger? He told me that we know that even our president, it was Joseph Kabila at that time, we even know that our president is not from our country, but those European systems just impose leaders we don't want. That day I said that as it's an educated person saying that in front of colleagues, this is the right moment to stand and express what I could not express in the street, in the road. And I told him, I respect you so much, but today I have to express what I've long time looking to express. And today the governor will judge and will either push me out or educate people how to live. And I tried to express and to demonstrate how we are nationals, and how what he is saying is not a good behavior, because he is trying to create conflicts, and it's not only here but even outside. I called even some advisors from the office, and different people were there. My chief tried to say, no, please forgive me. No, I said that if you were saying that not only because by joking, but it's not that, because I know other realities, and it's a huge problem we're having in this country. A high plus, an officer would not say that. And I say that either I will not come back again in this office if you continue to assume that I'm not from your country. So, and he asked for forgiveness. Even our colleagues tried to say that this is not a good behavior. Until now, that person, I think he when I meet him, he remember that it's not better to discriminate people until your colleagues in the office. That's one case I tried to stand and express.
Yeah, that's a great instance of how speaking out can actually resolve conflicts. And now, he apologized.
Yes,
I think that's really important. And like you said before, only by communicating these issues can you hope to move on and create peace, even if it's just within a workforce. It's much bigger than that, like you said.
Yes, sir.
Thank you so much for talking to me today, Albert. I remember at the start you told me you were going to publish an article this week.
Sure.
Maybe you can just finish by describing what the article is so we can all read it.
So we are doing a research about the involvement of students in liberty and peace in Eastern DRC, because in most cases the students are involved in conflict, and they are even sent by the politicians to even destroy some property, to even disseminate hate to other people. So we tried to show that situation. And during our research, we wanted to know what students are involved in and what they should be involved in. So it's like our research was about what is the involvement of students in Eastern Congo? What's their role vis-a-vis to the conflict in the Eastern of Congo? And what can be the recommendations to give to universities, to states, and so that the student can be involved in the right way to promote peace and liberty. So that's what we are trying to work on, and we have already the report in French. We are going to translate it, and then we will share. You will get a copy.
Yeah. Well, I look forward to reading. And just what was one of the recommendations that you made?
Introducing a course, even if it can be optional, but introducing a class in different universities on how students can be involved in peace. And because for sure the DRC, if I think you will get maybe time to read about it. It's a rich country, if I can say it. It's not rich because we don't have, but it's potentially rich. But the conflict are the main cause for poverty. And we think that if people are involved in creating peace, especially educated people like students, we can improve this context and maybe get a better place to live. And one of the recommendations was introducing a class about peace, promoting peace among students. And also we tried to recommend to different organizations to organize different conferences in universities on how promote peace, how to promote liberty in different institutions. Yeah.
Yeah.
We have a lot, and I think we'll share it with you.
Because it's hard for me to get my head around the fact that students would be given materials to try and create conflict at university. You said that they had to like disseminate materials.
Yeah. What I mean about it is, in Congo we have some politicians who just use young people to destroy other politicians or to destroy, and the politics in Congo is in most cases based on tribes. And when for instance, some politicians are not in this, they don't agree each other in the state, they try to use students for manifestations. And the student, as they get some money, they are involved without thinking about the consequences of what they are doing. And our research is to show everything about that, and show them how a good student might be. Yeah, they don't disseminate materials, but they disseminate hate speech, and even when during the manifestations, they even destroy public property, even private property, even if they was the one who would be the better to promote peace.
Well, I really hope, and I know that your organisation is going to make such a massive impact.
Yeah, sure.
The ideas you're promoting are just very inspirational. I love how you think about liberty and weave these ideas through your studying and just from experience. So thank you so much for joining and sharing your thoughts.
Thank you for the invitation.
Against the Grain is a podcast by Ella Nixon, thanks to the support of the Ian McTaggart programme administered by the Free Speech Union.